So now that we have established our shading technique style and the way it changes throughout the body, let's begin the shading process. As I move down the body of my chameleon, my hues are going to get a little bit closer and tighter together. They're still pretty spaced out and pretty minuscule or faded or less distinctive around that lip area. But as you get down to the wrinkles in the neck, it's closer, that area is closer to the camera and the viewer, and it's almost like they focus in on that point. So tighten your hues as you go down. I'm using a regular pen at this point. This can be done with pencil, micron pen, or what have you. Okay, I'm going to also shade around this beard here. This beard is super light, and you can tell that I'm really spacing my hues close together, about maybe an inch down from the lip, more so when the chin dips down into the throat. You can decide in this area to switch to little ovals if you want to capture that kind of scale-like feel. Totally up to you. Just make sure that you're keeping in mind that the closeness and the depth, like the closeness and the thickness of your shading follows the picture. So obviously this is going to take a bit of time. So I'm going to fast forward and show you the process. As I'm working, I'm going to walk you through it. See how my lines are tighter and closer together? And I'm kind of layering my hues or my ovals so that it almost creates like more of like a bumpy texture. You're going to want to do that in the throat area. Okay. As you get up closer to the lip, you're going to lighten your line. So let me show you here. I am lightening my line and just doing little soft hues, and I'm moving the lines kind of in a radial curved fashion to follow the muscle that wraps around the throat and into the chin. Actually, around the chin into the throat, rather. So anywhere where you have a darker area, you're going to double your line. Like this armpit area is super dark, so I'm putting 2 layers in, if not maybe 3. This is going to help that body part pop out more, and it's also going to help create a rich shadow in the area where you have the casting shadow over the armpit of the lizard. Okay, so the areas that seem to be lighter, like the scales, that are right near that really bright yellow beard, you're going to want to make your strokes smaller because your scales appear smaller, but you're also going to want to feather those in using a feather light touch because they aren't as distinct when you get closer to areas where they're supposed to be darker or more contrast. Let's add an additional layer of darkness to that area to help that beard pop. When you get up towards your mouth or your chin area, you are going to feather your lines. Make them nice and light and long and kind of fairy-like. Think of it as butterfly kisses on the tip of your paper. Do the same with your forehead, because your forehead is also a very light base color there. You don't have a lot of contrast up here. So butterfly kiss your pen across the paper. Just remember, we're making our movements long and light for those areas. When you get closer to the lip, you'll notice that that white spot, there's a contrast, or that yellowish spot on the mouth, there's a contrast there. Keep your feather light touch and shade in that lip. Maybe add 2 layers of ink in that area. Don't outline, because if you outline, your lip is going to make your mouth seem separated in a kind of cartoon characteristic way. We're avoiding that. When it comes to your brow bone / socket area, I want you to go in kind of like backwards C shape on your right hand side of your paper. And then on the left hand side, I want you to do frowny lines. Go ahead and feather that in as well. But in the darker areas where your shadow appears, add a secondary layer. Don't want you outlining any of this. I want you to feather and shade in those contrasting areas. So if you need to go in and do it again to kind of slowly build that value between dark and light, feel free to do so. Now that under part of your eye or eyelid, you're going to have a double shadow. A shadow cast by your eyelid and a shadow kind of cast because you have two objects touching each other. Do 3 layers of ink there, or gently take a Sharpie pen or a 9B pencil and get those rich darks in there. You want them to pop to create a contrast, just along where the eye connects to the eye socket. Repeat this step also with your pupils, okay, and any super dark under shadows, like underneath the arm and underneath the eyes. When you do the eyes, make sure that you leave room for those highlights, because that is really going to make your eye look like a 3-dimensional optical illusion. Here you're going to see me use that Sharpie to add in those additional details that I talked about. I'm also going to be using my eraser to clean up my line and to lighten up any pencil line left over my drawing piece, because that pencil line is going to fade over time and it's going to cause a separation in my shading. So I'm gonna erase that pencil line, and then I'm gonna go over it with a very light feathery touch with my pen to help reestablish those edges. Super important that you're doing this, because if you don't, over time that pencil line is going to disappear, and those outer edges that you have there are going to look incomplete. They're going to look like they're separated. That's why I'm doing this. Not outlining, I'm shading in. Shading in what needs to be taken care of. Now that I have eliminated all of that elusive pencil line, I am going through and I am adding an additional layer to what needs to be added. So here on the edge of my chameleon's neck, I'm adding that additional layer to create that contrast where the arm and neck connect, and to also help kind of give like an end to my chameleon's body. As you're doing this and adding those edges and filling in those blanks, I really want you to take some time, look at your piece, look at the picture, and see what needs to be added and what doesn't need to be added. You can do that by squinting your eyes, and then revisit your picture, add that extra layer that needs to be put in, and then continue to move across your piece. Don't get stuck in one area. When you're ready, start working on those eyes. We're going to use that featherlight touch with the kind of U or circular shading technique to fill in those eyes. That front eye there on the right, closest to the viewer, is super detailed on the bottom, and you can really see that there's a contrast. So put your little markings closer together in those areas. At the top, however, it's less so. So why don't you go and do those curves and have them radiate across the eye and almost point themselves or direct themselves towards the center where your pupil is. This will really help capture the circular or spherical shape of your chameleon's eyeball. We're going to keep repeating the layering process. So after we fill in the entire eye with a base shade color, we're going to go in and add our secondary layer to that bottom half closest to the camera's lens. This is really going to bring out that part of the eye and make those scales crisp and clear for the viewer to see. After we're done with our right eye, we're going to do our left eye and repeat the same process. Feather in the outline around the eyeball's pupil. This is that yellow part. Do not add any shadow in this area. We want this to be a contrast. Then add your U's, or your circular / oval kind of shading technique here. We're filling the entire eye, but you want to make sure that your markings are close and tight together near the bottom corner of the eye as it rests against the eye socket. This is because it's the closest to the viewer. When you pull away and go towards the upper part of the eye, go back to using that little U feather-light touch that I was talking about. If you want your eyes to look more spherical and more three-dimensional, add a very feather-light secondary layer to the edge of the curve on your outer eye. This will make it look like the light is wrapping around the eye to create a three-dimensional effect. Now that we added all the tiny details in the eye, it is now time to fine-tune that beard. We're going to go in and we're going to shade and feather in the edge, inner edge of that beard on the right hand side by adding very tight feathered in layers of ink. Now where the folds start, you're also going to create little feathered lines of ink. That's going to create those wrinkles in the skin. To help bring out that beard even more, feel free to add a third layer of ink along the neck area on the left hand side, because that area is furthest away from the body, it's darker, and it will help that little neck part of your beard pop in contrast. Pull away from your artwork when you get a chance. Take a peek, see if it is starting to come out more, that beard. Slowly add and feather in as many layers you need to make that beard pop out from the throat and give it kind of a three-dimensional feel. This is going to take some time. You're going to have to pause, look at your artwork, pull back, and then continue to add layers as you go. This is going to force your brain to look at the piece as a whole. When you are ready, we are going to start working on the arm. We're going to use the same technique that we did with the eye. For your light area that doesn't have a lot of detail in it and it's just a typical light shade of green, you are going to add a series of feathered in U's. But this time, actually, they're not U's. They're kind of like little C's. And the inside of the C is going to point towards the left-hand side. This is because the muscle is wrapping up and around the left hand part of the arm. So it's going to make your arm look more three-dimensional and more cylinder-like than if you were to use the U's. When you're ready, add an additional layer or two to the shadowy parts of your chameleon. Now that I've taken a break from the neck area, I am going to continue adding some details by feathering in what needs to be feathered in.